Our last speaker is Alan Hume. Alan is Chief Financial Officer for Zenith Energy. Zenith Energy are an oil and gas company, and they were admitted to the main stock market on the 11th of January this year. So I guess quite a new story. So I'm excited to introduce Alan to the stage for him to tell you more about it.
Thank you. I don't have a whole bunch of slides to talk through tonight. It's our story is a bit of a new one. It's not something with a lot of history. It's something about an unknown asset, an undervalued company new to London. Zenith has been established in Canada for probably about 7 years. It's been in the TSX-V, and over that time it has had assets in Argentina, moved to assets in Italy, and has very recently acquired assets in Azerbaijan. During that time, on the Canadian market, the values haven't been supported particularly well. There's been a lot less involvement from investors in extractive industries. Zenith took the decision to get another listing in a market other than Canada, and that was decided to do the main market in London. Since the decision was made, the asset in Azerbaijan, which was acquired finally on the 11th of August last year, has become the main asset. We have sold Argentina just about 2 weeks back, and now the focus of the company is going to be in that southern, eastern area of Europe. So a major field in Azerbaijan, plus gas production and electricity production in Italy. The major asset, obviously, is the huge field that we have in Azerbaijan, 642 square kilometers, which we have an 80% interest in the operating company, 20% with SOCAR, the state oil company of Azerbaijan. The interesting thing about the asset is that over time, all the majors have moved from simple onshore assets to assets which are bigger hitting, more bucks, more bang for your bucks, more value for your investment. And that has driven people offshore. So SOCAR have focused much more on the offshore assets of the country in the last 10, 12, 15 years. There's 3 fields in the 642 square kilometer area has been neglected over the last 15 years. We now have the opportunity and the license to redevelop everything we can do in that area. We have something like about 150 wells which have been producing over 15 years, 20 years, but have been neglected. We can go back in there now. We have the ability to do workovers with these wells and bring these back to the production levels, hopefully, that they enjoyed in the past. Some of the wells were producing at 15,000 barrels a day. But if you leave these wells and you do very little maintenance, then the sand builds up. It's effectively like saying you have let's say a well in your garden, you leave it for so long, the bricks will fall in, sand will get in there, it'll be overgrown with grass. You have to do something about it. The way that these wells will be worked over is to go in and take a workover rig and drill down through the buildup of sand and debris, clear that out, and hopefully, there is never any guarantees, but hopefully production will come back up much better than it is currently. So, what we have started is a major workover program, which probably about 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, started with the first one. We have the ability over a 25-year license period to work over something like 150 odd wells. The cost of doing each of those workovers isn't exorbitant. It's somewhere between $40,000 and $70,000 per well. These are very simple wells. There's no nodding donkeys. They are all pressure driven and with valves at the top. So what happens right now, the well produces, we off-take the product into a tank, and once we accumulate sufficient amounts of oil, that goes down to the pipeline, and it is sold to SOCAR. Every 2 weeks, there is an uplift of oil, and every 2 weeks, after 45 days, we get payment for that oil. It is a very simple procedure. So, what makes the asset great value is that for very little investment, we hope to be able to increase the production from a good number of these wells. The license is for 25 years. So, you know, you can probably do 10 a year. We're hoping to do a bit more than that in the first year. We will have 2 workover wells on site. We've got one which we own, which is in the shop right now for a bit of maintenance. It's probably going to be released in about a week. We've rented another workover rig plus a crew, which started 2 weeks ago. If we can get through 10, maybe 12 workovers this year, our target is to increase our current production, which is around about 295 barrels of oil a day right now, to 1,000 barrels of oil a day by the end of March next year. So that's a threefold increase. It's a threefold increase which is driven only by the cost of these workovers. There will be no additional cost to get the oil from the wells to the pipeline. So the $40,000 to $70,000 per workover, $40,000 $70 per workover is the sum total. So to go from 300 to 1,000 barrels of oil a day with no additional cost for transportation gives us a significant reduction in the cost of production per barrel. And that is one of the things, well, the main thing, which really is an exciting prospect for this company. We have this for 25 years. We are well connected in country. The CEO is based in Baku. The chairman of the company is well established with some of the major players in the oil and gas industry in country. We see this as undervalued right now. It's a new prospect in the UK. People haven't heard the story yet. And that's about it. Thank you.